Hello and welcome to YourTown television program. I'm your host, Paula Joy MacNab. And this segment is something that I'm very interested in. We're talking about the movies. My guest today is Doug Lumsden, and he is the owner and founder of the Monterey movie tour. And I have so much fun doing this because I get to encourage people to do things that I like to do and to get out and do things that you might not otherwise do. For locals, I call it playing tourist in my own backyard. And some of us do it when we have people coming in from out of town, but we should do it just for ourselves, you know, on a Monday or Tuesday or Friday or Saturday, go out and take the Monterey movie tour. So Doug, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Paula, very much. It's a real pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
Well, I am delighted to hear about what you do, and as you probably know, I'm involved with the Monterey County Film Commission.
Yeah,
and
I do know that.
We've met through that
Sure.
and other things. And movies tell such great stories, and I love stories. And I'm gathering that since you've chosen this to be your career, your profession, at least in this part of your life, you must love movies too. So I'm going to do this a little backwards here today. Was this idea of a movie tour, was this your concept? It's such a great idea. Well, first of all, tell us what it is. Tell us what it is. I'm assuming everyone knows.
It's actually the scenic tour of the Monterey Peninsula. We're the only daily scenic tour operator, but we just enhance it by showing scenes of movies right where they were filmed. And it's such a wonderful way to see a community not only get to see it the way it looks today, but the way they filmed in earlier years.
Right.
So a great example of that, when Marilyn Monroe was here, she made a movie called Clash by Night right down in Canterbury Road.
Clash
by Night.
Oh, that sounds like a blockbuster.
And it was actually a pretty good movie. And they made it mostly down in Canterbury Road. She was only 25. It was her 8th movie, one of her very first co-starring roles.
Yes.
And critics actually say it's one of the best acting performances of her entire career.
Well, that would be worth looking into. See,
absolutely.
I've learned something already.
Yeah, and what's great about it is that you not only, so as we're traveling down Canterbury Road, you not only get to see it the way it looks today, but the way when they filmed it, they captured the sardine capital of the world days that John Steinbeck wrote so eloquently about in his wonderful novel, Canterbury Row.
Right.
So that's the beauty of having movies filmed in your hometown, wherever you live. So that's what we do throughout the tour.
So just paint the scene for me.
Sure.
So you have a coach, a bus.
Right.
And how many people can go on this approximately?
33.
Oh, so it's good size.
33.
So as you're going around and touring the peninsula, they're in the coach, but they're seeing on a screen within the coach.
How
Is
we
that
do it?
correct?
Well, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
How we do it? We have 8 monitors on board. We probably have more monitors than most buses in the world, probably.
It's a lot of monitors.
And we do so because we want to have the screen really close to everyone, so they can see it very easily. We have a presentation system on board the bus, and the driver, me, most of the time. We have a special control system that was designed by Pioneer Electronics, who helped us, get this going. We were the first one to use their commercial DVD. We used the surround sound tracks to play music on, and no one had really done that before. This was way back in '99. And so we just have this special bus. So when we're doing our tour, I'll be talking about other things as we're passing by, and we get to a site, though, where a movie was filmed. I'll set up the scene, talk about it, and then I'll have them watch the scene of the movie on the overhead monitors right where the bus is, right in front of where it was filmed. And they have headsets on. They have seat-back control units. And so they'll have headsets on. They're very lightweight, so they can hear me very easily as I'm talking through the overhead speakers. And I actually have headsets on, too, just so I know exactly what they're listening to.
Sure.
So that's what we do throughout the 3 hours of the tour. And
so
it's just a lot of fun.
Where do you take people?
Well, it's really the scenic tour route. So we start in downtown Monterey, and our first site that we go by almost immediately is Colton Hall, where California's Constitution was written. Very historic site, not only for us, but for the whole entire state. And we slow down there. That's the hardest holding point of the whole tour for me.
This was the other fact.
That's a busy place.
How do you get to, not get people honking at you?
Well, we park in the red a lot, and I have a 35-foot bus, so it's a big bus. We try. If we get lucky, there's a couple of parking places, and if we're not, then we just have to park in this spot. That works. Cars have to kind of go around us, and thank goodness honest, we don't get too many honks usually.
That's good. That's
Everyone they're all local, and they go, it's just the movie tour
It's
guy.
a movie.
We know.
It's
So we,
done.
so we stop there and we play a scene from the movie, one of the biggest blockbusters ever filmed in our area, starring a couple of heartthrobs for their day, Sandra Dee, Troy Donahue.
Yeah.
The movie, A Summer Place.
Yes. What year was
And
that filmed?
1959.
59.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Colton Hall looks exactly the same today. And in the movie, it certainly was not, it was where California's Constitution was written, a very historic building. City of Monterey uses the ground floor for their offices still. And
Yes,
upstairs
absolutely.
there's a recreation of the meeting room that they had to, for the Constitution, the constitutional meeting room. And so it's still being used today. But it looks exactly the same as when they filmed it.
Oh my goodness.
So, and that's the beauty of it. People actually look at the building and they're watching the scene in the overhead monitor exactly where that scene was filmed.
Oh my gosh, that gives
So-
me shivers.
and
That's
it's just
really
fun.
cool.
Yeah, it's just a fun thing to do. And
So then
we
where
do
do
that
you
throughout
go
the
from
whole.
there?
From there, we go into Cannery Row.
Okay.
And we show scenes, once again, of Marilyn Monroe. We show scenes of Cannery Row, the movie, with
Yes.
Nick Nolte and Deborah Winger.
Yes.
And one of the very few scenes were actually filmed here. Most of the movie was filmed on a Hollywood sound set. They had to recreate Cannery Row, really. Even back in 1981, when the movie was filmed, they really, not a lot looked like Cannery Row in those days.
Of course.
It still doesn't.
Of course.
But things have changed quite a bit, but it's still a magical area as far as I'm concerned. So we show a scene there with Marilyn, and then we show a scene with Cannery Row, where it's the beginning of the movie, and the character, the seer, has climbed up the ladder right on a little outcropping of a cannery that's still there today. It's right next to an abandoned building that was an art gallery.
Oh yes, I know exactly
yeah,
where you
Stone's
mean.
Gallery.
Stone's Gallery, yeah.
And so that site is still there. So we play that opening scene, to the movie while the great late director John Huston, with his marvelous voice, that great voice
he
he had,
was phenomenal.
and he speaks John Steinbeck's words about Cannery Row, and that's the opening scene of the movie, and that's where it was filmed.
You're
So
making me want to
people-
go
and
see
that's-
these films, Doug.
Well,
This is fantastic.
A lot of people do. A lot of people actually see the movie before they come on the tour, or else then, and if they haven't, then they'll rent a lot of the movies out later
Oh,
on.
that would be brilliant to
So,
see it
yeah.
before
Yes,
and then even
yes.
again.
Absolutely.
That
And
would
they say,
be-
I was just there at the site.
Yeah.
I just saw it.
Oh,
you know?
that's very fun.
So
then where do you
that's the
go
idea.
from there?
From there, we go through Cannery Row. We show scenes with Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home.
Oh,
And
I didn't know about that one.
yes, the Monterey Bay Aquarium, a lot of
Oh,
filming
yes,
there.
yes, of course.
Yeah, and so we have a scene with
right.
Spock and Captain Kirk getting off one of our regular buses at that time, going right into the Monterey Bay Aquarium, and under the logo that's there today on the wall,
Yes.
it was a reddish color back in those days. Now it's blue. They
Okay.
changed it. I talked to the people at the aquarium about how can we change the color?
That's
You
right.
know, and they said, well, I don't know. I don't know why we did it either. But
Some designer came
this
in.
kelp is actually red, more reddish than blue.
That is-
You
it's
know?
true.
They said, I guess the blue water, whatever. But it was kind of funny. I was talking to them the other day about that. But underneath, in that scene, underneath the logo on the wall, which is there today, they have the Cetacean Institute. And it's really the Monterey Bay Aquarium. That's really
Right,
what it is. So they
right.
walked right inside. There's a wonderful scene of the main exhibit hall right there, which looks exactly the same today. The whale models hanging from the ceiling and,
Oh, my
all of that.
goodness.
So we play a scene there, then we go around the next street up. We go by the Sardine Factory,
Yes.
wonderful restaurant we all know on the
Classic,
Monterey
yeah.
Peninsula. And we show a scene of Clint's iconic movie, Play Misty for
Oh,
Me.
one of my favorites.
Isn't that?
One
Yeah.
of my favorites.
First movie he ever directed. And
That's right.
so we
that
have
was 60.
that was actually 71.
71.
Right.
Okay.
And
Really.
it was a killer. A female stalker.
Oh, yeah,
It was a great movie. I watched that every other year, the whole movie.
You know,
And
I
it-
was looking for that the other day, I think, and I don't know if it's on Netflix or not.
I haven't tried to find it. I actually own it. So
Well, of course
if you
you
need
do.
it, let me know.
Thank you. I'm going to borrow
I
your,
will. I'll
your
do-
copy. So then where do you
absolutely.
go from there?
Well, from there we head into Pacific Grove and the coastline, and we have such wonderful scenes of some older movies that were filmed right in the bay.
Okay.
Some classic movies like Captain's Courageous, the original Mutiny on the Bounty. Yeah, Monterey Bay. It's much easier to film a movie inside a bay than it is to go out to an open ocean.
Well, this would be true.
And we know the area here, living here, and you know how Monterey Bay is a huge bay.
Oh, it's
Very big.
Yes.
And about 24 miles across, we have Santa Cruz and all of that area. but that is shrouded with our marine layer a lot of the year, June
Absolutely.
and July. Right now, today probably.
Yeah, our
is big
June
shroud.
gloom, our classic
Our
June gloom. It's here.
So Hollywood in early years would take advantage of it. They'd bring tall ships into Monterey Bay. They'd put up the sails, angle the camera. You don't see land. Boom, you got a shot right there.
So
it looks like you're out in open ocean.
That's
You're in Monterey Bay,
amazing.
you know? So yeah,
Brilliant.
so they did that a lot. Absolutely.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
fantastic.
Hollywood is a little sneaky sometimes,
Well,
you know. So
yes, they are, and we're glad they are.
yeah, that's right.
Because
We're
we
not
get to benefit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's fun. So then you go on.
And then we go on through Pacific Grove. We show Turner and Hooch,
Yeah.
scenes with Turner and Hooch with Tom Hanks.
Where was that filmed?
Most in Pacific Grove, some down in Long Beach, down in Southern
Right.
California, but a lot of that movie was Pacific Grove, and I think it's a shame because in the movie they said it was Cypress
Beach or
yes,
some other
a
name.
fictitious name of
Right.
a little town. I said, why
Yeah.
didn't they just call it Pacific Grove?
Right,
You know, I'm
right.
sure Pacific Grove would have loved to have the exposure.
Absolutely.
You know, so anyway, so we play scenes of that movie, and then we go into Pebble Beach, and then we start making our stops. We stop at Bird Rock, the largest rock just offshore
Yes.
on the Monterey Peninsula. Restrooms are there for your use.
Yeah.
And we show scenes of A Summer Place,
Mm-hmm.
a couple of scenes of A Summer Place. It's such an iconic movie
Yes.
that we play that movie a little bit more than
music
we do in
is
others. Oh, the music by
fabulous.
Max Steiner. One of the greatest ever. One of the greatest ever. Still has lasted, you know, the test of time throughout all these years. So we play a couple of scenes of that movie, and that's the last couple of scenes we do play. Those last are the last two scenes we play. I play that one more than any because it's such an iconic movie.
It absolutely
And
is.
the age group we get on a lot of our tour are the people that probably remember that tour a
Right,
lot.
right.
Or that movie. So they will come up to me at our first stop and they say, oh my gosh, you're just sending us back to memories that we had as a kid going to that movie, which was very risque for its day. You know,
Yes,
very
it
risque.
was. It absolutely
There were no
was.
ratings then.
Right.
But
that's
I
true,
remember
Doug.
it was a taboo thing to go to, and I think I was about...
Which makes us all want to go.
Oh, absolutely. I was about 12 or 13, and my sister got to go, and we were living over in Salinas then, and she got to go to that, and I was standing out. I had my bike, I think. I
Yeah.
want to get in this
I
movie. I
wanna
want to see
go
what's
in.
going on. And today, of course, you look at it, and it's like a Walt Disney production.
Yes.
Movies show how much our culture has changed
Well-
within the last 50 or 60 years, which is immensely.
Yes.
We see things now in movies that we had no idea. If you would have said that in 1959, I'd said you're absolutely crazy.
Right.
You know, you can see just everything in a movie
Right.
now. But back then, it was a wonderful time, really. And it was a risque movie for its day. It dealt with infidelity and divorce.
Sure.
So
Sure.
that was
Isn't
pretty
it
big.
interesting how films, as you say, they are reflective of what's going on in our culture and our world.
Absolutely.
And you know, when you look at those segments and you go back in time and you look, it's such an exploration of what our thinking was. What were we
You're
thinking?
absolutely right, Paula. Absolutely right.
And how that's moved forward, not necessarily always in a positive way,
Right.
but sometimes in a very positive way.
Sure,
you know.
absolutely, absolutely.
So to
And-
appreciate, you know, what those films are showing us.
Yeah. No, I
So then
agree,
you
totally.
wrap up, you go.
And from there, we continued to go around 17-mile drive,
Mm-hmm.
and that's on our tour the whole time inside Pebble Beach.
Right.
And we stop at the Lone Cypress Tree, and several scenes of movies have been filmed there. Lana Turner made a movie right there. And then we make our stop at the Lodge at Pebble Beach. And of course, that's one of the greatest scenic settings in the world. From the back deck of the lodge, you know that
It's
setting very well.
gorgeous, yes.
And I've been there 60,000 times. I can hardly wait every day to get there. And if I'm not doing the tour, I'm always there at the tap room anyway.
60,000. You're just a
at
beginner
least.
at this.
Oh, it's just an incredible setting. It's a lot
It's-
of my friends say, Doug, you got to get out more. If this is, and I say, I
I'm
can,
at
but
the
this
top.
still will be.
I'm at the top.
I'm
so
at the top. Yeah, this is still my favorite spot in the world,
Yeah.
and it's just amazing. I walk out on that back deck sometimes at 7:30 at night with the lights coming on across the ocean, and you go, "How did I get here just to look at it?"
Right.
And you know, and even live here. It's such an
That's what
incredible
I call
place.
kind of the pinch me moments. And you and I actually
Absolutely.
both grew up here. I know-
Okay, what's good going on?
I went to Carmel High School.
I went to PG. We are definitely
Oh, we're
arch
rivals.
enemies.
We're
That's
rivals.
right. See, now everyone knows.
I'm sorry, I can't talk
How
to
did
you
I
anymore.
accept this
I
coming
don't
on your
know.
show?
I don't know. I can't
Now
talk
they
to you
know.
anymore.
Yeah.
So what are filmmakers looking at now in this era of filming on the Monterey Peninsula?
Well, I think pretty much it's always been what's drawn Hollywood throughout all these years, and directors and just the studios themselves, is just our tremendous scenic beauty.
Yeah, it's
It
incredible.
really becomes a character in a movie, in a miniseries that was just filmed by HBO
Right,
here.
exactly.
And it just becomes an entity, part of that film.
Yes.
And I think when you're watching a movie, another movie that was not filmed in our area, but you see this incredible coastline, or if it was filmed in Italy, or that just becomes part of it.
Yes.
And that's how I feel. No matter what the movie's about, I want to go to that place
Yes.
that they filmed.
Yes.
I want to get there.
Experience that, and that's part of the feeling of film, is we feel for the 2 hours or whatever it is,
Right.
we lose ourselves and we step into that other world. And what a magical world this is that people from around the world who may or may not ever get to be here get to step into in the films that are made here. And Big Little Lies was huge.
It was just huge.
I mean, really, such a fascinating experience to be, we're even peripherally
And you were probably
involved.
close to it. You were probably close to that film, I think.
A
little bit with the film commission.
Right,
there. Yeah.
and it's just so interesting to look at that and see how people's opinions of what Monterey is. We're not all that nasty, I promise.
And we don't all live in an oceanfront home.
And we don't all live in an
Yes.
oceanfront home
That's the
or
other
drive,
thing.
25 miles to take your child to school.
Yes,
But
yes. Right.
it's so interesting, and people, anywhere in the world that I've traveled or lived, when I say I grew up in Carmel, everyone, bar none, whether it's Australia, Italy, anywhere in the world, people know this area.
Oh, you're absolutely
phenomenal.
right. You're just absolutely right. Every day, certainly every week, maybe twice a week, I get people when they're on a tour, and we're making our stops somewhere, wherever it is, and they'll come back inside the bus and they'll go, "You get to look at this every day."
Yeah.
And there'll be people that are doing very well in other parts of the world,
Yes.
beautiful places, but they just come up and they look at it, and it's very seriously said. They go,
Right.
"You get to look at this every day?"
Right.
And boy, that makes you think how lucky you are to live in an area like the Monterey Peninsula.
Well,
all over the area here. It's incredible.
My daily prayer of gratitude when I
Yes.
wake up every morning and I go,
How did I
"Thank
get
you."
here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and I thank my parents, who were very enterprising pioneers who landed on the Big Sur coast.
Yeah.
Doug,
good for them.
how can people reach you if they want to take your tour? Tell our viewing audience how they can find you, because I want to make sure we get that in.
Yeah, you can best thing is probably just go to the internet, MontereyMovieTours.com. And you can book right off the internet. You can always give us a call at 800-343-6437, but really you won't remember that probably. So just go to the internet, MontereyMovieTours.com, and you can book it right there. You'll have our number. You can send us an email and ask us questions, and we'd be happy to respond to you just as soon as we can.
Well, I am very excited, and I actually have some plans to come on the tour and
I know.
bring some friends too.
Absolutely,
It's
that'll
been
be fun.
a pleasure having you and taking me back down memory lane a little bit on some of those things.
Well,
thank you again,
thanks
Doug.
for inviting me. I appreciate it, Paula.
My pleasure. And I'm your host, Paula Joy MacNab, YourTown television program. Join us again soon.